Good morning, everybody, from Kapyoung. Where's Kapyoung? We are right here now. So I went up closer to the DMZ yesterday in the 38th parallel and came down here because this is where one of the most major battles of the Korean War took place. So here I am. Yay! Third day, Canada. Yellow day, yellow. So here we are. It says Canada Monument. I am very happy to be joined by one of my favorite people on earth, whom I've known for what? Oh my God.
Close to 7-8 years now?
No, 2007.
Okay.
Okay, 11 years from Washington, D.C. So we'll tell you all the story as we walk up to the Canada Monument. We'll just leave it right here. So this is a short description of this monument, which it says that 27,000 Canadians fought from 1950 to 53. And do you know that they stayed even 3 more years after the war, because yes, the armistice was signed on July 27th, 1953, but just because the agreement was signed doesn't mean like, oh, the battle stopped, right? The war technically didn't end. Now, Hosan-shi, he surprised me today, by the way. Like, really, this wasn't planned. He just said, hey, I'm here, where are you? And I was like, oh my God! So we've known each other from Washington, D.C. So, but the amazing thing is, you grew up here.
Yes, I grew up in Kapyoung.
Oh. So what does it mean to you that this memorial, did you know about this memorial?
Unfortunately not. I lived in this area, but I never been this far out.
Oh.
I lived in Kapyoung-gun, Cheongpyeong-li. So this is differently though, different township basically.
Yeah, like
but,
30 minutes away.
Yeah, but this is, we lived in basically same county. And I grew up in here, but I didn't really connect with the Korean War myself, really. But one thing I know is Kapyoung has this high school called Kapyoung High School, and it used to call Kapyoung Kaisa. But the name Kaisa is actually derived from this U.S. troops who has donated $2.
You know what?
450 people of that squadron, I believe.
Wait, are you sure they're U.S. troops, not Canadian?
U.S. troops, I believe. And
are you sure?
let me double check. But all I know is
I think it's either Canadians or the British or Australians, because I remember from my travel, they told me that they started sponsoring a school.
Well, I mean, the thing I heard and read it was actually American troops. They donated 150 people. Like, I believe it's one squadron of battalion. They donated $2 each.
And this school still exists?
Yeah, and then they
today?
actually built the school there together.
Wow.
And then actually my mom went there.
Wow.
My mother's sister went there, and my actually cousin went there.
No way.
So that has a lot of attachment, and I feel I actually found out a few days ago, and then I deeply appreciate how they devoted their life and how they sacrificed their life in Korea. Not only sacrifice, but they donate that money because they thought education is a very important factor to Korea to grow.
Oh yes.
So, and I just cannot believe actually they have done such a warm heart.
Oh my God, I know.
Warm heart
during war, right?
Yeah, right after war or during the war. And then,
yeah. By the way, I heard so many stories from the veterans. I mean, they get very little ration too. So it's not like the 17-year-old, 18-year-old soldiers had much either, but they had the heart.
Exactly.
The generous heart.
They were, they thought, the Korean kids were studying the hut, basically. They didn't have quite good place to be educated.
I mean, it was war, so basically there was nothing.
That's how the school got started.
That's awesome.
It's right by the Kapyoung County Hall.
So this is how history works, because his mother was educated there and then gave birth to you. Gave birth to you, and Hosan is one person that I know truly worked so hard to strengthen the U.S.
Yes.
Korea Alliance in Washington, D.C. He used to work at the Korean Embassy in Washington, D.C., the Cultural Center. But I just want to show you PPGLI.
CLI.
CLI. So I am pretty sure the C stands for Canada. PPLI, I have no idea. Oh,
Princess.
this is why two heads are better than one.
Yes.
So,
Canadian Light
Princess
Infantry.
Paphigius, Canadian Light Infantry. Yes, because that is the infantry that fought in this battle. Now let's talk about this battle a little bit. Oh, so the second PPGLI. So this was basically, can you look at the mountains? I mean, really? I keep saying this over and over again. This entire place is surrounded by.
I cannot stop talking about how beautiful my hometown is.
Oh yes, it's beautiful now, but during 1950, I mean, it was extremely difficult. So we're gonna go over there, but while we go over there, I also want to say that this battle, while I was studying, so remember yesterday we visited the Battle of Imjin, right? Fought by the British, and later also in the Philippines. Well, it looks like April 23rd, all around, like basically the entire like 38th parallel and down, Chinese forces by tens and hundreds of thousands, they just all swarmed down to an attack. It caught everybody by surprise, and that's why it was so important that for 3 days, you know, whether they were the British or the Canadians, they held off. They stood, you know, their ground, and which bought time for the other United Nations forces. But yep, so here it is. The Canadian forces that participated are the Royal Canadian Navy and the Army, and from what I know, the Special Forces and the Air Force. So that's really amazing that they sent, you know, basically the entire force. So now we are gonna go see the memorial. So, Busan Shi?
I like how they have English, Korean, and French.
Oh yeah, yeah. So you can come here and understand it in different ways. But yes, just this Canadians, 516 died, and 1,255 were wounded. And so I was really honored to visit Canada last year. In fact, when I was traveling around the world, Canada was my first country, and I will never forget how nervous I was, really. But the Canadian grandpas, they really embraced me, loved me, you know, and so I felt very encouraged to go to the next country, And so this is for you, Grandpa Davidson, and all the other grandpas out there. Was Victor, Grandpa Victor as well, and your fallen comrades that we come here to pay tribute. So, you want to read out loud in Korean what that says?
Sure.
Out loud?
자유와 세계 평화를 수호하기 위해 이 땅에서 공헌한 모든 캐나다군의 숭고한 희생 정신을 길이 역사 속에 보존하기 위하여 이곳 옛 벽정지에 이 기념비를 세우다.
Dedicated to members of the Canadian Armed Forces who fought on the sea, on the land, and in the air in the defense of freedom and world peace during the Korean War 1950 to 53. Their sacrifice and spirit will never be forgotten. So all of you, please join us in paying respect to our Canadian grandfathers, veterans of this war, and observe a moment of silence. So thank you again. As you can see, there is the Canadian flag alongside the Korean flag, and for me it's really humbling, you know, that the world really came to, you know, save us, really.
Save us,
yeah. You
because
know,
of that, you know, I exist here, and
yeah, me too.
I can travel, I can study, and I can never forget their sacrifice.
I know this
Surely.
guy studied in Switzerland, you know,
For
and
high school,
he like worked in, you know, Washington D.C. So I mean, for a Korean, that's like
very gifted.
a dream, right?
Yeah.
You know, and for me to have worked in the United States Congress, I mean, talk about the American dream, and that's what I am here, really, honestly. You know, I just thought that, wow, how is this possible? And I just wanted to say thank you before I start the next chapter in my life while I'm still kind of relatively young. So again, thank you, and merci beaucoup to all my Canadian grandpas. We will now go to the UK, Australia memorial, so follow us there. Remember 77.org. Bye.
Thank you.